There's Nick Sirianni after the game doing some snow angels in the confetti at Lincoln Financial Field as the Eagles advance via a 31-7 victory. There they are, having a good time, soaking in the moment, enjoying the spoils of victory. And 31-7 combined with 38-7, that's 69-7 if my math is correct, and it rarely is. Have a couple of cigars there, Jalen Hurts.
Well, yeah.
Enjoy that. Just chill and relax and have a cigar and
in your purple leather jacket. Wow.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I don't know about wearing the purple on purple. Oh boy. But the Eagles, Chris, look, and this one, I got a ton of respect for the 49ers. Yeah. They lost Brock Purdy early, and there was a point where it was tied 7-7. It's like, how is this game tied? How are the Eagles not up 21-3 in this game? Now, eventually the floodgates open, and it was the drive after the 49ers scored their touchdown to tie the game. It's almost like it woke up the Eagles.
Yeah.
And they needed – it's like, okay, their quarterback goes out. It's kind of like what the Jaguars did last Saturday. I felt like, you know, the team that benefits from the quarterback injury was kind of lax. Like, this is going to be easy now. And the other team buckled down. And the 49ers – rallied, and the defense played better, and the offense stepped up, and then it finally knocked the Eagles to their senses that they still have a game to be played here. The 49ers aren't going to forfeit simply because they're down to Josh Johnson at quarterback, and it took a while, and it was exciting, and it was dramatic, and I thought the 49ers were going to hang around.
Yeah.
But the Eagles, when they finally woke up, that was it, that was that. 21-7 became 28-7 became 31-7, and the Eagles advanced to their second Super Bowl in 5 years.
Yeah, it stinks. I mean, come on. None of us wanted to see that yesterday. None of us. There's two teams. We want to see them at full strength in the biggest game of the year to go to the Super Bowl. So that was anticlimactic. It really was. I mean, you see the Brock Purdy injury here. Again, this is what the Eagles are, the best pass rushing team in the history of football other than the 85 Bears. I don't think they're getting enough credit for how awesome their pass rush is. And this was a game-changing moment, obviously. And, you know, again, one of those, Mike, that's one of our pet peeves we talk about all the time. You can't have the tight end. Tyler Kroft should not be guarding one of the best, or blocking one of the best pass rushers in football. You know, kind of a schematical error by the 49ers. Rare for them to do that. But, yeah, that was the beginning of the end right there. Because from that point on, it was just like, oh, man, okay, yeah, Josh Johnson, and, you know, they hung around and they were tough. But, you know, to kind of what you were saying, you're kind of like, how long can they do this? They can't really throw. It doesn't look like they can really run their offense. Josh Johnson looked uncomfortable getting out of the huddle a few times and unsure of, you know, what exactly the play was or whatever. He's new there. I mean, it's a tough situation to be thrown into all of a sudden. So that's where that stunk. I mean, again, I just wanted to see two teams that we know have tons of heavyweights and killers on it go at it. And that kind of just swung the pendulum in the Eagles' favor. And they kind of played conservative and slowly wore down the 49ers and their lack of being able to do anything on the offensive side of the ball.
And more on the quarterback issues for the 49ers coming up. For now, I want to go back to that play. Yeah. We saw Tyler Kroft try to block Hassan Reddick. We saw Tyler Kroft on his knees 10 feet away from where Reddick ultimately hit Brock Purdy. Let's take another look at that, though. This is something that you complain about all the time, and rightfully so. And, hey, this is your guy Kyle Shanahan drawing up this play. This isn't some schmuck. He's drawing up,
no doubt,
Tyler Kroft trying to block Hassan Reddick. I mean, come on, man. How many times do we have to see something like this happen where the tight end is not suited to block one of the, not just any old defensive end, one of the best pass rushers in football this year?
Right.
One of the very best.
No, but, you know, again, too, and I mean, you're saying it right. Shanahan is usually the top X's and O's guy there is. We know that. But this is the bind the Eagles put you in. You know, if you see the start of the play, it's a 5-man rush. They got 5 defensive linemen in, you know. And then, okay, a tight end stays in as your 6th guy, and they're trying to use the other 5 guys for, hey, yeah, maybe the 4D lineman in case somebody blitzes. But That's where it's unfortunate. That's what great teams do to you. They put you in a few schematical situations where you go, man, I don't really want to do this. I don't really want to, but I got to take a chance here to make this happen or, protect against this blitz. And it came back to bite them in the ass. Not only just for that play right there, but that was night-night. I mean, like we said, that was kind of the beginning of the end there where you just, man, can the 49ers really manage or weather the storm here? And slowly but surely the Eagles just wore their butts down.
It reminded me of something I really didn't want to think about yesterday. Both games yesterday made me think of recent postseason failures by the Minnesota Vikings, whether it's a quarterback throwing short of the sticks on 4th and 6 or, and let me set this up before we roll it. 5 years ago,
right?
Vikings go down the field, score a touchdown in Philly in the NFC Championship, go up 7-0. Matt Casey texts me, congratulations. I text him back a middle finger emoji because I don't need to hear that when it's 7-0. But the Vikings were hot knife through butter that day. They stopped the Eagles. They have it again. They're moving. Pick 6. It's 7-7. Then the Eagles get it back. They're up 14-7. Now the Vikings were driving. They were inside the 20 and, about to make it 14-14 or 14-10. Things feel like they're, balancing out. The game's settling in to what it's eventually going to be. Tight end blocking a pass rusher. It was Derek Barnett, then a rookie, first-round pick of the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't even think he's on the team anymore, frankly. Coming around the edge. We got the video.
He is.
Coming
he
around
got
the
hurt,
edge
but yeah.
to get Case Keenum, and out comes the ball. Here it is. That was a tight end going across in motion to try to get the defense. That's even more ridiculous. You put the tight end in motion to try to take out Derek Barnett. Good luck with that. Yeah. Out comes the ball. A few plays later, it was Alshon Jeffrey for a 51-yard touchdown pass, 21-7, game over. So don't have tight ends try to block pass rushers, especially when the tight end's going in motion across the formation.
No, it's too tough of a task there. Again, I think that was a calculated gamble, risk, whatever, by Shanahan and company. When they lost, they did. But that's kind of like what we were talking about. Those great defenses do to you a little. They put you in some spots where you take some chances there, and that one hurt. It really did. I mean, that was, certainly one of the marquee moments of the early game, or of the early game, let alone the first drive, with the one-handed catch, right, with Devontae Smith. That certainly was another thing to where, was a huge part, got the Eagles up 7-0. They drove down, scored the ball, right? Like, hey, ooh, man, it was hard work. But they're up 7-0, and we never got to see that one-handed catch, all the way there either. Those were two big parts early on in the football game that kind of swayed the direction.
The quarterback issue also needs to be addressed from the perspective of the defunct third quarterback rule. It used to be that you had 45 guys in uniform.
Yeah.
And you could have a 46th if it was a third quarterback. And it was this weird, quirky thing that if the third quarterback entered the game at any point before the fourth quarter, the other quarterbacks could never come back in the game, which never really made much sense to me. But they wanted it to be a true emergency option. You got nobody else. And then come the fourth quarter, if you want to get cute and use the third quarterback for some other purpose, you can. In 2011, they just said, just go ahead and dress a 46th man. The problem is the vast majority of teams only dress two quarterbacks. They use that 46th spot on someone else. And now do we need to have the third quarterback as a 47th man? Maybe we do, because, Chris, it is another calculated risk teams take. And teams will say, if we're down to our third quarterback, we're screwed anyway. That's fine, but at least you have somebody who can play quarterback that doesn't, look like a complete and total travesty of putting Christian McCaffrey under center. They should have at some point, because what happened was Brock Purdy gets injured. He can't throw the ball more than 5 or 10 yards because he's got an ulnar collateral ligament/nerve thing. They don't know the extent of it, but he may need surgery. We'll find out. Then Josh Johnson comes in. He gets a concussion. So instead of just saying we're going to go old school single wing Christian McCaffrey Wildcat, they put Brock Purdy back in, and Brock Purdy can't do anything. It's a wasted man. You're playing 10 on 11 at that point. But if you just have a third quarterback on the roster in uniform, they did have Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster. He just wasn't in uniform. But if you have that third quarterback, in that situation, it just doesn't feel like a mess, like a disaster, like an embarrassment to the sport, where this team is just trying to get through the game and get it over with. It just felt like they're just trying to get through the damn game and get it over with. It really didn't feel like they were being competitive or had any chance whatsoever once they were down to no healthy quarterbacks left. And so that third quarterback rule maybe needs to come back. Not that teams are going to have 3 good quarterbacks, but at least you got somebody who is schooled in the position of quarterback if that emergency does unfold.
Yeah, it just didn't seem right yesterday, I think, to your point. For a game to go to the Super Bowl, it just seemed, that it was one team kind of an amateur hour because of their quarterback situation where they couldn't do anything. And that is tough. And maybe that is something the NFL has to think about there. Because, they had to put Brock Purdy in. I'm sure they would have hey, let's put McCaffrey in and let him be the Wildcat quarterback and do all that, except that they probably never really called plays. So that was another thing, too, where you go, oh, wait. So that's where another quarterback, of course, would be able to make that transition a little easier. But just unfortunate. I mean, it really was. What a great run by the 49ers. I mean, that was special. It really was, again, with a third-string quarterback to dominate the way they did the last half of the NFL season. 2 playoff victories, and then get there, and we go, ooh, man, can they really do this with the rookie Mr. Irrelevant quarterback? And to have that injury that early on where it felt like, hey, it felt like, listen, we know the Eagles are awesome, but the 49ers belong. I think we could look at that and you went, oh, yeah, the Eagles scored in the first drive, but damn, it wasn't easy. A shoestring 3rd and 6 catch, a jump ball that wasn't really a catch that set them up for the touchdown. You just would have liked to seen 2 of these 2 teams at their best go at it, and we were kind of cheated of that.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.